What if I told you a humble 1943 steel penny, something many people overlook, has sold for as much as $49,000 because of a tiny mistake most collectors never notice? And no, we're not talking about a rare gold coin or a century-old treasure. We're talking about a 1-cent coin made during one of the most dramatic periods in American history. Stay with me, because the story behind the 1943 steel penny gets more surprising with every minute. The year was 1943. World War II was consuming enormous amounts of raw materials. Copper was desperately needed for military equipment, communication systems, and ammunition. The U.S. Mint faced a challenge: continue making pennies without using valuable copper. Their solution was extraordinary. Instead of the traditional bronze composition, the Mint began producing cents from steel coated with zinc. Overnight, the familiar reddish-brown penny disappeared and was replaced by a shiny silver-colored coin that looked more like a dime than a cent. Millions of Americans were confused. People mistook them for dimes. Vending machines rejected them. Some even believed they were counterfeit, yet what seemed like an emergency wartime substitute would later become one of the most collected coins in American numismatic history. More than 1 billion steel pennies were produced in 1943, but that doesn't mean every example is common. The real money lies in condition, rarity, and errors, and that's where things become interesting. Before we explore the valuable errors, it's important to understand how these coins were created. Steel sheets were cut into blank discs called planchets. Those blanks were coated with zinc to protect the steel from rust. The planchets were then fed into high-speed presses, where dies struck Abraham Lincoln's portrait on one side and the wheat ears design on the other. The process sounds simple, but when billions of coins are being struck under wartime pressure, mistakes happen. Tiny imperfections in dies, planchets, and machinery can create unusual varieties that collectors chase decades later. Some of those mistakes transformed ordinary 1-cent coins into 4-figure and even 5-figure collectibles. Let's examine them one by one. A die crack forms when the hardened steel die begins to fracture after extensive use. Instead of replacing the die immediately, the Mint sometimes continued production. As a result, raised lines appeared on the finished coins. Most die crack. Steel cents sell for approximately $25 to $150 depending on visibility and condition, but dramatic examples with large cracks running across Lincoln's portrait or through the reverse design can command $300 to $1,000 or more. Collectors love these because they provide visible evidence of a die literally breaking apart during production, and larger cracks generally mean larger premiums. Now things get more exciting. An off-center strike occurs when a planchet is not properly aligned before being struck. Part of the design is missing while the remaining design appears shifted. A minor off-center example might sell for $50 to $200. A 10% to 20% off-center strike can reach $300 to $800 if the date remains visible and the strike is dramatically off-center. Values often climb into the $1,000 to $3,000 range. The combination of a visible date and strong misalignment is what collectors seek. Too little offset isn't dramatic enough. Too much offset may remove the date entirely. The sweet spot creates serious demand. Among all Lincoln cent errors, doubled dies are some of the most famous. These occur during die creation when design elements become duplicated. Letters, numbers, and portions of the design may appear doubled under magnification. Many minor doubled dies sell between $75 and $300 stronger. Examples can bring $500 to $2,000. Exceptional specimens certified by major grading companies sometimes exceed those estimates when collector demand is intense. The challenge is identification. Many people mistake machine doubling for true doubled dies. That distinction can mean the difference between a coin worth a few dollars and on. Imagine a small piece of cloth, grease, metal shaving, or debris becoming trapped between the die and the coin. When the strike occurs, part of the design fails to form correctly. That's called a struck-through error. Minor struck-through grease examples often sell for $20 to $100. More dramatic struck-through Objects can reach $250 to $1,000 when the obstruction leaves a highly visible and unusual impression. Values can climb even higher. Collectors enjoy these because each one tells a unique story from the production floor. No two are exactly alike. Some 1943 steel cents display repunched mint marks. Where the mint mark was punched more than once into the die, these varieties show overlapping impressions. Modest examples typically sell between $50 and $250. Well-defined specimens can achieve $400 to $1,500, depending on rarity and condition. Specialists in Lincoln Cents actively search for these varieties because they reveal fascinating details about the manual die preparation process used at the time. Occasionally, a blank was cut improperly from the metal strip. The result was a coin, missing a curved section of metal. These are known as clipped planche errors. Smaller clips may bring $40 to $150 larger, and more dramatic clips often sell for $200 to $800 premium. Examples with strong eye appeal can exceed $1,000. The unusual shape immediately catches attention, making them popular among error collectors. Now, let's talk about the factor that separates a $20 steel penny from a four-figure. Prize-conditioned steel cents present a unique challenge because they rust easily. The zinc coating can wear away. Moisture can cause corrosion. Fingerprints can leave permanent damage. A heavily circulated 1943 steel cent may be worth only a few cents to a few dollars. A brilliant uncirculated example can be worth $20 to $100. Gem quality pieces graded MS66, MS67, or higher may sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Depending on rarity and eye appeal, this is where professional grading becomes critical. Services such as major third-party grading companies evaluate authenticity, preservation, strike quality, and surface condition. 1. Single grade point can dramatically affect market value. A coin graded MS65 might sell for a fraction of what an MS67 example commands. That's how powerful condition can be. Remember the $49,000 figure from the beginning? Those extraordinary results generally involve exceptional condition, rare varieties, important errors, or unique combinations that attract aggressive bidding. Most steel pennies will never reach those heights. But that's exactly what keeps collectors searching. Every roll, jar, estate collection, and inherited coin box carries the possibility of hiding something remarkable. And because the 1943 steel cent already stands apart visually from other pennies, it remains one of the easiest historic coins for beginners to recognize. The 1943 steel penny wasn't created to become a collectible legend. It was born from wartime necessity, produced under immense pressure, and intended to solve a temporary problem. Yet decades later, collectors continue uncovering fascinating varieties, dramatic errors, and unexpectedly valuable examples. A die crack might be worth a few $100s. An off-center strike could reach thousands. A premium-grade rarity might shock even experienced collectors. And somewhere right now, sitting unnoticed in an old collection, there may be another remarkable 1943 steel penny waiting to reveal its true value. So before you dismiss that silver-colored penny as ordinary, ask yourself one question. What tiny detail might everyone else have missed?